So hi, I'm Scott Gunderson, and I teach math, science, and engineering at Inspire. And I've been with the school from the very beginning. And this is my son, Triston Gunderson. He's an Inspire graduate and an engineer working in New York City. And Tristan was there the very first day of school, August 11th, 2010. And in fact, Tristan, that was it. The first day of school was your birthday.
Yeah, it was my birthday. I remember it wasn't like most first days of school. We had the entire school, I think 250 of us gathered in the basement on that first day, doing like a trust building exercises and getting to know each other things. And then with it being my birthday along with two other students, they all sang happy birthday to us on that first day. It was quite a unique introduction to a school.
Yeah, I remember that day. It was exciting. There's a lot of butterflies that day. So Tristan,
yeah.
So you left your previous school. You were coming in to Inspire as a sophomore, and you transferred to this brand new unaccredited experiment. What made you do that?
I mean, yeah, there's a lot of reasons. I'd say one of the big ones is I was taking a class with Ron Pope my freshman year of high school, who was one of the founding members and huge inspiration in the design of Inspire. And we would just have him in class every day talking about the next steps and his ideas of what this new school was going to be. And after years of having teachers who just really didn't care sometimes, it was such a fresh idea to have a school where I actually felt like it mattered, like the teachers wanted to be there. And I mean, I'm pretty sure I was like the third student to sign up for something. As soon as the registration opened, I was on it. Honestly, I can't even remember if I talked to you and Mom about it first. I think I just told you that I was going to Inspire.
Sounds about right.
Yeah, another thing with Inspire is, obviously very prevalent for us, those first three classes, because first year was, freshman, sophomore, and junior class. I was in the sophomore class. We felt this sense of building the school, like starting programs from the beginning, and being on the ground floor. I mean, I know I was being your son, I was there with you the week before school started, getting things set up, clearing out the storage closet that was our main office the first year. But the amazing thing is, talking to more current students, they still seem to have that same sense of being a part of building the school. Like every year there's enough going on and changing and trying new things. It seems like every class comes out feeling like they contribute to the school just as much as it contributed to them.
All right.
It's interesting. It's yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It definitely gives you a sense of pride.
One of my favorite memories, I don't know if it's favorite or not, but remember Chem Lab where we ran a hose through the window into a bucket for a sink? It was a humble beginning. Yeah, so now actually we're hopefully building a new school. In a couple of years, hopefully we'll be on our own campus. Very exciting. I think that feel will stay with us, but yeah, it would be nice to have some new facilities.
Absolutely, yeah. After years in the portable buildings, it's about time.
For my part, I was 20 years into my career at that point, and unfortunately increasingly dissatisfied with comprehensive education. It worked with tons of great people, but school, I think, worked well for a few. It worked okay for some, but it just didn't work well for far too many. Schools are too big, too impersonal, too inflexible. And too many students are there with no motivation or purpose. So at the time, I was really exploring what does it mean to have quality teaching and quality learning. And I felt a bit stifled and unable to try out new ideas. So then I heard through the district communication that there's going to be a new charter school possibly forming. So I was very, very interested. And then when I saw who was behind it, people like Ron Pope in the ACT program at Chico High, who I worked with previously, I knew I wanted to be a part. Then, of course, Eric Nielsen was made principal. And wow, he's one of my greatest heroes and role models in life. And when he announced that he's going to be principal, I knew I wanted to be a part. And then you, of course, applied and had to be there. It had to happen. Tristan, what inspired you? What was the experience like for the 3 years you were there?
It was really unlike any school I'd been to before. Obviously, throughout time, like you have those teachers who care and who have like, really original ways of teaching. And at Inspire, it kind of felt like every teacher was that. Like I had gotten so bored at that point with school and just the grind. And honestly, it was like exciting to go to school each day. Obviously there's still, the curriculum in some classes aren't your favorite, but there was always interesting things happening. And big part of that was the theater program, because between theater and dance, I mean, we had more than half the school involved in a production. So you never had a sense of community like that at other schools. And I mean, you hear it thrown around a lot amongst Inspire students and alumni. Like it's a community, it's a family. It really feels like more than just a school while you're there. And I'm sure a lot of other students at other schools feel that way too, but I never felt quite like that until I was at Inspire.
Yeah, it was an amazing amount of work setting up a new school. So I was the first teacher hired in math and science, and I immediately recruited some of my favorite young teachers, and we assembled a really good team, didn't we? Definitely felt like I was the old man, and now 10 years later, I know that I'm the old man. When I was hired, I was also asked to head up the engineering program. We started that second year. In fact, Tristan, you were in that first engineering class. And now we offer 6 engineering classes with 4 teachers. We've come a long way. And you're right. 2 words you'll hear a lot as when people talk about Inspire and their experiences there are family and home. I've definitely found my home. Obviously, we encourage quality teaching and explore quality teaching, which you'd expect from experimental school, but really also equally emphasize are the relationships with students, with staff, just for the whole school. It's one of the most important lessons I've learned in my 30 years of education. Quality teaching, of course, is critically important, but it's all about relationships. It took me a long time in teaching to figure that out, and Inspire really made that come home to me. And of course, I got to work with my son. In fact, Tristan, you had me for 6 classes, 2 math, 2 science, and 2 engineering. So what was it like having your dad as teacher?
It was, honestly, it was really great. There were some conversations, leading into that first year about, what our, relationship at school was going to be, I believe I called you Gundy, but never Mr. Gunderson, and I avoided Dad.
It slipped out a couple times, and not too often.
Only when I got very frustrated, which didn't happen very often. But no, it was really interesting because a lot of my the ways that I learned and my I guess your teaching philosophies over the years had kind of rubbed off on me. So being in your class was really really straightforward for me. I mean, it was exactly how I wanted to learn, how I homework wasn't the big deal. It was the material and finding interesting ways to understand it. And it honestly, yeah, your classes were some of my best classes I had.
Of course, for my part, I loved having you at school.
Oh yeah.
Teachers' lives are busy and free time is limited. And I felt I'd missed some parts of your growing up, but got to make up with that in high school and spent a lot of quality time. It was great. I loved it. And I think you're still the number one. I don't think I've ever had a student in 6 of my classes before. I think you still hold the record.
It was a busy first 3 years, that's for sure.
So Tristan, you're doing really, really well in life. So what part did Inspire have in that?
Yeah, so I was interested. You mentioned earlier that very first engineering class, my junior year. So yeah, we started working with Autodesk Inventor, which is a engineering CAD software, and from there I went to Chico State where we worked with a competitor software, SolidWorks. But actually, I'm now out here, in New York, working with largely Autodesk Inventor and other Autodesk software. So it kind of all came full circle from that first class at Inspire.
That's cool. Yeah, you
So
bet.
yeah, now I'm working as a consultant, helping out other companies, with the software. I'm actually teaching classes on it myself. It's very interesting. Full circle.
And your fiance happens to be in theater.
Yeah, and yeah, we met doing a show at Chico State. After it was interesting going to college from Inspire was an interesting transition for me. Because coming from a high school where you didn't just know some people in your class or have a small group of friends, you knew everyone at school, and had a connection there with all the teachers and all that. Going to college for the first year was actually a bit of a transition for me because I went from knowing everyone to not really knowing anyone. And so it was until my second semester at Chico State that I joined the theater department and kind of felt a bit of that sense of community returned. And so then a few years down the road in the theater department, I did Into the Woods and met my now fiance, Catherine.
All right. That's a great story. Thanks for collecting with me, Tristan. So for me, I'm kind of looking forward to retirement. Not anytime soon. I've always said as long as I love what I'm doing and having fun, why retire? But it's going down the road. I'm definitely having the most fun I've ever had in my career at Inspire. Owe a lot to this school and the people who make up the school. But certainly would be nice to be on our own campus. I'm looking forward to that transition too. Hopefully that happens before I retire. So, hey, again, Tristan, thank you so much. I love you. Thanks for sharing with me and thanks for sharing with the school.
Of course. Happy to talk about it.